Hey guys, what's going on? Laying back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about Thelma the Unicorn. Thelma the Unicorn is an American family comedy based on the book of the same name, and tells the story of its titular protagonist Thelma, a small farm pony who dreams of becoming a famous musician alongside her bandmates. However, she finds it difficult to do so when she keeps getting shut down because of her looks. One day an accident occurs at the farm where she lives that results in her gaining the appearance of a unicorn, which in turn results in her becoming famous. She uses her newfound opportunity to finally start making headway with her music, though she realizes her journey to fame will come at a cost. As a family film, I thought it was alright. It starts off kind of cheesy, the plot and messages are basic, and the animation isn't always the best, but there is a lot of heart behind its story, and the musical performances do a great job of elevating the story beyond its rote conventions. The main character Thelma is a typical dream chaser who finds she has to be something that she's not in order to have a chance at doing what she wants with her music. The opposition she experiences in following her passion is a feeling many can relate to, so that aspect is conveyed well, but it's not very unique either. There's just not a whole lot that stands out about her as a character to make me root for her beyond a general sense. I like that she doesn't really become stuck up as she's propelled to the top because of her looks, but her arc still feels predictable. She has to learn to appreciate her uniqueness so that she can be happy with herself, which again is done well enough, but it's nothing that hasn't been seen before. On another note, I thought it was interesting that she was voiced by an actual musician in the form of Brittany Howard. For someone who isn't an actor by trade, I think she does a pretty good job in the role. Her character still feels ordinary in terms of goals, but she does provide a sassy personality that makes her stand out more from others, and her voice definitely lends well to the musical parts too. The rest of the characters in this movie are a bit of a mixed bag. Thelma's friend Otis is probably the most notable out of the bunch, serving as sort of a voice of reason for Thelma as she gets caught up in the fame game related to her musical endeavors. And he's good, but as far as developed characters go, that's pretty much it. Most of the other characters in this movie are simply played up for laughs, and thus don't have much to do with what happens in the story. I suppose that's fine for a kids movie, but I can't help but feel a little disappointed over the lack of meaningful content for any of them beyond Thelma and Otis. However, there are a few that are hilarious in terms of comedy, though I'll get to that in a bit. The story proceeds pretty much exactly how you'd expect. Thelma gets the break of a lifetime thanks to her appearance, but finds out her musical endeavors involve a lot more than just playing music. She has to contend with rabid fans, manipulative managers, and her own self-doubt, and it's a lot to juggle for a kids movie. I can appreciate how much stuff the story covers in this regard, but it takes a long time for the movie to start getting interesting, and again, it's pretty simple in scope. That doesn't mean it isn't worth seeing, as I think the way the content is presented here is fine for kids, but I don't see it appealing for audiences much older than that demographic. The musical performances are definitely where this movie shines the most. All of the songs sound great, and Brittany Howard's voice is a force to be reckoned with. The songs cover a variety of genres, and it's just awesome to see so much variety and fun with the music in this movie. Beyond that, though, the songs do an excellent job of telling Thelma's story. They're paced in such a way that they communicate what she's going through in greater emotional depth than the movie does. Her songs could be listened to outside of the context of what happens in the movie, and they'd still make sense, which is a testament to how well done they are. The other part of this movie's entertainment value comes in the comedy, which I didn't enjoy as much, but it does have its moments. I personally found this movie's sense of humor to be really weird in the beginning. It took me a long time to get used to how humans and animals live in harmony with each other, and then the strange mannerisms they have made it even more difficult. I found some of the jokes were things that would either fly past kids' heads, like how there's a musical artist called Patsy Swine based off Patsy Cline, or borderline inappropriate, like when Otis uses a weapon on a toy disguised as a nipple. Aside from that, it's just loud and rambunctious when it comes to the comedy, which personally doesn't appeal to me. However, there is one exception in the form of Vic Diamond. He is easily the most entertaining character in the whole movie. He's the typical slimeball music producer who encourages people to be fake, and I love how over-the-top Jermaine Clement is in the performance of this character. There were a number of other gags that landed well for me too. The best one is at the height of Thelma's fame when a fan asks if she'll legally adopt him to be her son. Moments later, she and Otis gets into an argument, the fan comes to her defense, and Otis says something like, "You just gonna let your son talk to me like that?" I also love the running gag involving Nikki Narwhal, who's like a rival singer against Thelma, and how her pool boys work as her dancing troupe. Oh my god, they were fantastic. Just the way they moved and how ridiculous they were in each scene they were in. Oh, I couldn't get enough of them. Speaking of movement, the movie is pretty decent as a work of animation. It isn't Disney Pixar level by any stretch of imagination, but the character movements look fluid, and there's lots of colors throughout the story that are visually appealing, and add to the spectacle of Thelma's music career. That being said, I found the animation was better suited for the animal characters as opposed to the humans. The character models for the humans just feel off for some reason. They look plasticky in appearance, and a lot of them have strange body types that almost reach Marmaduke levels of bizarreness. It doesn't look terrible, but the difference in quality between the two is noticeable. It's impressive how the filmmakers were able to stretch a 90-minute feature-length film out of a children's book, and while I haven't read it myself, the story seems to be faithful to its source material regarding the messages about embracing one's uniqueness and avoiding being superficial to please others. It didn't fully hook me in due to its bland narrative structure, but I can see how others would enjoy it more. Overall, Thelma the Unicorn is an average family flick about being true to yourself and who you are, and is earnest yet a tad uninspired in approach. If you enjoy stories like this or are a fan of the book and you want to watch something fun with your kids, you might enjoy checking it out. It's clearly passionate about the story it tells and puts a lot of effort into the musical numbers and bringing the story forward, but everything else about it seems mediocre in comparison. It is an enjoyable enough distraction for kids though, and hopefully it'll inspire someone to embrace their own individuality. What did you think about this movie? Was it a good adaptation of the book and its messages, or did you think it fell short instead? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap up my review of Thelma the Unicorn. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part, where next time I review the Japanese manga adaptation, Golden Kamuy. Bye bye!